and this here may be tough to you. Snack cake to me, yeah, more hostess. This been overdue forever. Asked me when it was dropping, said never. Should've made you cut the feta, but I designed it Freemason Margiela.
What's good, Shellitronnn here, the most woke, no joking. I'm back again with a brand new video, and I'm gonna keep it a Bowberry biscuit. I know what I said about last week in that Eagles game that we won. I said it's gonna be a real test for us, and it's really gonna be a gut check to see who really wants this game more and who wants to get their team ready for the rest, the end stretch of this season. We're getting to the midway point of the season, and you don't want to have a bad loss on your record. You don't want to go into the midpoint of the season and going in beyond with another loss. But this game coming up Sunday in Charlotte versus the Baltimore Ravens will be an even bigger test. And that's how football season should go. It shouldn't be, a good test and then lollipop schedule. Maybe another team here and there that may test you, but overall you're not really being tested throughout the season. This Baltimore Ravens game is anything but a lollipop game. The Ravens have defense. And honestly, it's not just that. Joe Flacco isn't playing all that bad this season. I thought going into the season that by this week, we'd be seeing Lamar Jackson. And I really do think that the Ravens picking up Lamar Jackson with, I think, the last pick of the first round of the draft this past year really lit a fire under Joe Flacco. He said, look, I can't lose my job this year. I'm going to just play out. I'm going to come back and make sure you guys know I'm the starting quarterback here. I'm the franchise quarterback. And if nothing else, I have another full year here because I honestly do believe that if they hadn't picked up Lamar Jackson, he would not be playing at this high of a tilt as he has this year. I think 11 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. He's been playing decently well, but it's really the defense that carries them. And they're still doing this really weird split thing with, they throw out Lamar Jackson sometimes to run the ball. And he even passed last week against the Bengals, which I have honestly no clue why they're doing this to these guys. Why? I mean, Lamar isn't getting any kind of real meaningful reps out there. And it just takes Joe Flacco out of his rhythm to have to come out the game or be put out wide on a Lamar Jackson designed run play. Because if Lamar's in the game, they're 95% of the time running the ball. And honestly, this game is going to be a defensive battle for a lot of different reasons. So just real quick, let me throw a lot of numbers at you and then explain all that with a lot less words. So the Baltimore defense is first in points allowed with only 14. They're second in pass yards allowed with 190. And they're seventh in rush yards allowed with only 90 yards per game. Under 200 yards per game in the pass. Under 100 yards per game in the rush. And the number one in points. That's definitely going to be a tough defense to crack. And probably the biggest test of all the tests we're going to have for our offense this game. But our D isn't that bad either. We're 10th in points allowed per game. That's 22. We're 17th against the pass, which is really bad, at 260. And we're 9th against the rush at 95. So even though we haven't looked so great against the rush, there's still a lot of other teams that have been doing worse. We still need to do a little bit better against the run. But this game right here, that won't really be the big test because Baltimore's offense is 24th in the rush with only 96 yards. So their average yard per game on the ground is the amount that we actually allow for our defense. So we should be pretty set against the rush. Their offense is also 15th in points per game at only 25. We're 18th at 24. It's really 23.7, but we're about even there. And they're 9th in the pass at 291. This is what really surprised me. Joe Flacco's really been going off this season. It's actually kind of disgusting. I think he's been averaging somewhere in the upper 60s in completion rate, like 67%-ish. He has a game of 73, 66, 67, probably maybe 65% so far. Like I said, 11-4 ratio and touchdowns to interceptions. Pretty good, decent high yards. Throwing to guys that people either thought were down and out or just weren't that good. Guys like Michael Crabtree and John Brown. John Brown, who's actually had a resurgence this year so far. I think his highest season has been 1,000 yards. That was his second year in the league with the Cardinals, which, I mean, we can forgive him for his Cardinal stats because the Cardinals aren't that good. Aren't that good at all. Haven't been that great. They had one good season. But, I mean, he's had 550 yards so far this season. John Brown is on a pace to really be something disgusting. We're not even halfway through the season, and he has 558 yards. this is the guy to definitely keep a lookout for on our defense. I had no idea who John Brown was, honestly. I mean, like I said, he was hiding in Arizona, and then he's on the Ravens. I don't watch Cardinals games. I don't really care to watch many Ravens games. But John Brown looks like he's the real deal this year. He's really a sleeper in the league. I don't think anyone's really saying his name. So he's going to be a big factor to watch out for in this game, apart from the defense. Because like I said, their rush offense just ain't that great. We have Alex Collins to worry about. I mean, 3.6 yards per carry, 87 yards, 309 yards total. Javorius Allen's been alright. Lamar Jackson has 100 yards in the full season. But other than that, they really have no real established run game so far. But you have to call me either the pot or the kettle here because our rush game hasn't looked all that great either. I mean, we are still 4th in the league in rush yards per game at 136. But I think we can all understand that we haven't been seeing that kind of great running ability consistently from our team, from the Panthers, from our backfield all too often this year. It's like game to game, we can have a good breakout game here in the rush, and then the next game, our top runner is Cam with 36 yards, and we see Christian McCaffrey with 12 rushes for like 22, 28 yards. He's pretty consistently good in the pass game, but we need to find a consistent rush game here because honestly, we're going to have our hands full of this defense. It kind of worries me talking about the offenses too much here because the offenses in this game aren't really the stories. It's the defenses. And if I can just throw out some more numbers at you just really quickly, honestly, just hear me out here. The Ravens have 27 sacks so far this season. 27 sacks. I mean, Terrell Suggs has 5.5. Zadarius Smith has 5.5. We see Kenny Young with 2.5. Tavon Young with 2 sacks. I mean, come on now. I don't have to go on the whole list, talk about sacks here. These guys will get after the quarterback, and honestly, that's probably why they don't have so many pass yards against them, because the ball has to come out quickly. You need the ball to come out quickly. You can't throw deep on these guys too much because they're going to get after your quarterback, and like I said, this is going to be a big test for our team, and especially for our O-line. Our O-line, which has been doing extremely well under the circumstances that we've been seeing so far, they're going to be really tested against this attack that loves to hit the quarterback. A lot of different blitzes. I watched some highlights and I watched a few of parts of their games. They do like to throw out some pretty exotic blitzes, like some stunts. They like to show pressure from one side and bring it from the other. This Baltimore defense is really good at just being really aggressive and getting past your O-line and confusing them with different kind of coverages and showing different things to the line and then backing out of it and having pressure come from other places to confuse your line to get past them. So they really have a good two-pronged attack. This secondary, I don't want to say is all that great. I think 5 total interceptions this year with not any one player having more than 1 interception. So it's not really a thing about coverage and passes defended. It's just that your quarterback and your line get so worried about that attack coming in, that pass rush, that things just happen to happen. But our defense is not that bad itself. We just need to find consistency. And I've been seeing those comments a lot, either on my videos or people DM me on Twitter, ask me questions, which is another big thing I've said in another video. I don't always get a chance to respond to the YouTube comments because I just get a lot now. I don't get a ton all the time, but I get a sizable amount of comments. The best way for me to answer your questions, if you have questions or like concerns, whatever about the Panthers, or want to know like any chances of or like that kind of stuff, hit me on Twitter at Shellitronnn, same as the channel name. DMs or just mention me. You have a much better chance of me answering any questions on Twitter than you do in the YouTube comments. I do scroll through them a lot, but it's hard to answer all of them. You see how many comments I get sometimes. But we really need to find any kind of consistency. That's our biggest problem here. I don't really think that these rankings show just how much talent we have on our team on either side of the ball. We need consistency. Can our offense play well for more than just the fourth quarter? Can we string together just 2 good quarters back to back? I mean, even if it's just the second half. Can our third quarter be good? Can we have a good first quarter and a good second quarter? Or a good first and third? Can we just have any 2 quarters of our play be consistently good? And that's really what it comes down to. Or so I thought. Because I was thinking about it a little bit more. I watched the Eagles game again. And I watched the Giants game. And it really did click to me that our offense and defense really do feed off each other. When the defense sees the offense clicking, the defense wants to do a lot better. When the offense sees the defense get stops, the offense is like, okay, they gave us a stop here. Let's go out and get it for those guys. And we need to see that with more consistency. That's the name of the game here. Can we start off this game well? And can our offense produce against this defense? We need to establish a run game to open up the pass. Because they can't, because if the run game's coming through, and really even more so with the exotic, end arounds, fake end around screens, different kind of things that get guys open in space. If we can make this defense just think for half a second before and after the snap, make them watch the play and not come through, that's where we get this pass rush. That's where we stop them from coming in with all that intensity, make them pause. You catch them a couple times with that early on in the game, you have to get them early. If you get them early and they can't establish that dominance with their pass rush, we can really get them. So both the run game to open up the pass and then the exotic runs and the exotic fake runs to open up the pass is what's really going to be the deciding factor in this game for the Panthers. This is an easily losable game for us. So my prediction here really hinges on us playing consistently for 4 full quarters, which we've shown we haven't really done and can't really do so far this season through 6 games. This is going to be less than 1 score. I'm thinking 3-point game, very defensively minded game. Neither quarterback can make mistakes. This is a game where honestly, Cam can't get sacked more than 3 or 4 times. Cam honestly can't throw more than 1 interception. We can't have receivers fumbling balls. We can't have muff punt returns. This is a no mistake game. The team that has the most turnovers, the team that has the most mental blunders is the one that's going to lose this game. And that includes penalties. We have to stay focused this game. I'm thinking, honestly, 17-20. I feel like maybe my prediction is really hinging on me being a homer because this Ravens team is for real and us winning really does depend on us being consistently good throughout 60 full minutes of gameplay on both sides of the ball, all 3 phases of the game, because it's not just offense and defense. Our special teams has to be good. We can't miss PATs. We can't miss field goals. Please, Graham, no. You're so inconsistent, bro. I need something. We have to be 100% on our game, but I do think we can definitely win this game. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and you already know to do that like button.
Cheers to you, appreciate the chance. Being told y'all I been the man. Being told y'all I had the gift. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Real ones gonna recommend. Count this as another win.